Hi everybody, it's Carolyn again at Carolina Crafting. So how about we make one more Valentine's card since tomorrow's Valentine's Day. The card I'm going to make is a card that I had prepared to do for a shoebox swap last month with some other North Carolina demonstrators, but unfortunately our little get-together was canceled due to weather. In case you don't know what a shoebox swap is, I'm going to explain that to you. So a group of card makers will design and cut the cardstock and prepare a card for other people in their group to make. So you put your supplies in a box that will make your card, and then your box gets passed around to everyone in the group and they make your card. Also at the same time, you're getting the box that the other card makers brought and making their card. So, for example, I usually just take like a little acrylic box like this, and I'll put all my supplies in. Well, actually, we always die cut our stuff and take the die cut thing. So I'll have the stamp set. I'll go ahead and put my stamps that's going to be used on a block. I'll put the inks in that's going to be used. And I'll put the punch, if there's a punch that's going to be used, I'll include it. And then I'll have little packs like this of all the cardstock, everything that's already cut to make the card in there. And I'll have several kits of this. And this box just gets passed around till everybody in your group makes your card. And then you make everybody else's cards that they've planned in the group. And it's so much fun to walk away with new cards, new ideas. And if you are a card maker and you hadn't done this before, you really should get together with a group of friends and try it. I really enjoy all the swaps I've been to. All right, so let's get down to making the card. As I mentioned before, this is the set we're using. It's the Valentine Kisses stamp set and some of the die cuts. And let me go ahead and show you which die cuts we did. We just used 3 of them in here. This is the little piece that goes there, and then the bottom of the booth we cut out. I also used the everyday arches and had an arch cut out, and then the rest of it is just cardstock and designer series paper. So you'll need a piece of real red cardstock. That's going to be your card base. So it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You will need a piece of white that's 4 by 5 1/4, and that's your inside piece of the card. A piece of designer series paper, and this is from the, let me see, Made with Love designer series paper, and this piece is 5.5 by 1.5. And then you just need a little 1/2-inch scrap of Flirty Flamingo. All right, so let's do our stamping first. I'm first going to come in with the Everyday Arches piece that I cut, and we'll use the Memento black ink. And we're going to stamp our little bear that's peeking out of the booth, the kissing booth. To figure out where to place him, I just kind of put my booth where it was going to be towards the bottom, and then came in and stamped my bear. Okay. And we'll put him to the side. And we're going to use Real Red next. And on him, we're going to use the 3 little hearts. And just put that right above him. And then we're going to use our inside piece and stamp giving you a big smooch. That's going to go on the inside. And then I also used the one that has the little lips on it, and just stamp those right kind of below it, like that. Then you'll bring in your little strip of Flirty Flamingo, and you're going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day on it. Okay. You're going to need just a few markers to color your bear. I'm using both the light and dark of the crumb cake, and then just the light piece of the Flirty Flamingo. I'm just going to use my little bag to put under it just in case these alcohol ink markers bleed through. Let me start with the light. Oh wait, that's the dark, not the light. Okay. And you don't have to be real precise here at the bottom, because your booth you're going to put them in, it will hide the bottom here. Okay. And then I'm just using the light Flirty Flamingo to color in the inside of his ears. Really cute. Okay. All right, now we can start assembling our card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base, burnish it with my bone folder, and then we can go ahead and glue the inside greetings. Okay, then on the outside, we're going to put the little strip of Designer Series paper towards the bottom and glue it down. Okay. Then we're going to take our little bear and start putting him over here towards the right-hand side of the card. And then I started building the little booth around him. And I used dimensionals, so it'll look like he's in behind the booth there. Let me find my dimensionals here. Okay. Oops. All right. All right, and then we're going to put the top of the booth on as well with dimensionals. This one's a little bit trickier because they're so thin, and what I did is ended up cutting like these extra edges and placing them on there. So I'm having to kind of trim them to the size I need. I'll just take this one and kind of trim it into some thin little strips. It's a little tricky, they're so small. There we go. All right, and then I use some of the smaller dimensionals and just put a couple on the top. There we go. Oh, it's starting to come together. That's it. Mine's a little crooked here. Let me see if I can't straighten it up. It's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Now I'm using the little trim here to go in front to decorate my kissing booth there. And I'm going to use my tweezers just to hold on to it to put the glue on. There we go. And lastly, we're going to use the Happy Valentine's Day that we stamped. And I'm going to use my triple banner punch and use this middle one. It was too long to fit into it just to punch it out. So I'm going to use it and just insert the ends here so I can still get that little banner cut on the ends, even though it's a bit longer than my punch. And he's going to go right there. And I'm going to put dimensionals on that as well. Okay. Let me clean up just a little bit here. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of these loose Valentine's assortments. I just used the hearts in there and scattered some out on my card. Now you can use a glue dot. I just used a little dot of glue and that seemed to work fine. It may be a little bit messier this way, but it did work. And then I'll just pick these up with my Take Your Pick tool and put them down where I put my little drop of glue. Okay, there you go. There's one last Valentine's card if you need an idea. We, like I said, didn't get to have our little get-together, but we all put our cards together and sent them to each other anyway. So I hope everyone that received one of mine enjoyed it. Thank you for watching again, and I hope you'll come back and see more tutorials.